Hey there and welcome to another video. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to build a really fun game that's perfect for anyone who loves a challenge. It's called Guess the Number. Now Guess the Number is a game whereby you have to guess a randomly generated number within a certain range. We'll give you the range of numbers and then you have to guess which number we're thinking of. We'll give you hints along the way to help you narrow down your guesses. If you guess correctly, you win. So without further ado, let's get started. In our Python text editor, the first thing we're going to do is create a while loop. And we're going to set it to true. And this means that the code inside the loop will keep running until a break statement is encountered. We're going to start off by importing the random module, which we'll use to generate the random number for the players to guess. Next, we're going to ask the player to enter a lower limit and an upper limit for the random number. This is going to be the range of the random number. We're going to use the int function to make sure that the values entered by the players are integers. Once we have the lower and upper limits, we're going to generate a random number using the randint function from the random module. We're going to create another variable to store this number and we'll call it random number. Then we're going to create a print statement to let the player know what the range of the possible numbers is. From here we're going to create the heart of the game. Let us make this game interesting. Let's say the player has 8 chances to guess the randomly generated number. We're going to use a while loop to keep track of how many chances the player has used up so far. Then we're going to create another variable and let's call it guess. And in this variable we're going to ask the player to enter in the guess. Then we're going to create an if statement. Now this if statement is to check whether the guess matches the randomly generated number. If it does, we're going to print a congratulating message to the player. Then we're going to add a break function that breaks out of the main loop. Now if the guess is not correct, we're going to create another set of if statements to tell the player about whether the guess was too high or too low. We also need to keep track of how many chances the player has used up so far. The first if statement is to check if the guess is less than the random number. Then we're going to create a print statement to let the player know that the number they guessed was too small. Then we're going to create another if statement, and this time we're going to check if the number they guessed was bigger than the random number. If it is, we're going to print you guessed a large number. Then we're going to create another if statement that checks if the variable chances is equal to 7. In other words, if the number of guesses is equal to 7. If it is, we're going to print on a new line we have run out of chances. And let us create another print statement that lets the player know what the number was. And one more print statement that wishes the player better luck next time. Then we're going to create a break function to break out of the wild chances loop. I'm going to create a print statement, and in this print statement I'm going to set it to a new line, just to make the output neater. And finally we can create a break function that breaks out of the wild true loop we created at the beginning of the program. And now when we run the code, Python is going to ask us to enter a lower limit. I'm going to enter 1 and then click enter. Then it's going to ask us to enter an upper limit. I'm going to enter 10. Now Python will randomly generate a number between 10 and 1 and I have to guess what number it is within 8 tries. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed or found this video helpful in any way, shape or form, then consider leaving a like and subscribing. Turn on post notifications to be the first to know when I publish a new video. Also, if you have any constructive criticism or any questions or anything, comment them down below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Peace!